When I first heard High Hopes, I thought it was catchy. The kids called it a bop. I didn't know what a bop was, but I agreed. However, as I've listened to High Hopes more and more, it sounded less and less good to me, which is weird because the whole point of pop music is that the more you listen to it, the catchier it gets. And yes, High Hopes is pop music. Fight me. And then my friend neighbor Caleb started complaining about it too, and I thought, there's gotta be something to it. So I started studying the lyrics, and I discovered something alarming. While High Hopes is technically excellent in many aspects of songwriting, it's missing one vital thing: a story. Hey everybody, I'm Clifford Summy, the Pop Song Professor, and welcome to my channel where we make English class awesome by explaining and sometimes roasting song lyrics on school days. And today we are critiquing the lyrics of High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. And let's go ahead and start with a strength of High Hopes. It's oftentimes a very good writing prompt for a song to begin by taking a cliche that everybody's heard before and to make it into something new. Cliches could be something like read between the lines, or kiss and tell, or High Hopes. Think of Dark Horse or Bon Appetit by Katy Perry, or Shake It Off, or This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things by Taylor Swift. When you use this strategy, the basic thing to do is to take an old saying that maybe people hear and they don't think anything of, and to kind of flesh it out, to tell the story behind it. If you can tell the story behind a cliche, you have a very easy to access song for your audience. But when you don't take the time to flesh out a cliche, you do what Brendon does later in the song with lines like "One in a Million," "Wildest Dreams," or "Haven't Seen the Best of Me." Because he doesn't take the time to develop them and they just feel like easy placeholders for what he really means, he's losing our buy-in or our attention, and he's making his story less intricate and detailed. We don't know what his, quote, wildest dreams are in that sentence because that's all he gives us to chew on, is just some empty words. Of course, elsewhere in the song, Brendon does an excellent job of coming up with some very interesting word pictures and turns of phrases. He says, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing, and that is obviously mixing a metaphor, but in this case, it's clever enough that it sounds cool. Uphill for oddities and burn your biographies, a clever allusion to forgetting the past and thinking about the cool things you can do in the future. And then I think he does a really good job of using sound correlations and sonic thumbprints and euphonic links to make stanzas feel connected. Listen to the last words of the chorus. We have living, killing, vision, living, feeling, million. There's a lot of very similar sounds in there, lots of E's and L sounds and sounds, and so it gives this sense of connection and purpose and unity. And verse 2 is just beautiful. We have prophecy, a legacy, manifest destiny, everything, biographies, history, wildest dreams, victories, and then again, everything. Because these words all have similar cadences and structures and sounds, it not only sounds clever, but it also sounds connected. These words were meant to be together. They are working together to tell what Brendon wants them to tell. But in regards to the most serious drawback of High Hopes, it gets so close to being successful in telling a story, because in the chorus, I had to have high hopes for a living, so we know a little bit about the protagonist. We know that he wants to go do something cool. He has big dreams. In verse 1, Mama said, fulfill the prophecy. He goes to a wise guide, like Luke going to Yoda, asking for help, or Frodo going to Gandalf. And then we have the pre-chorus where tension is rising. Mama said, don't give up, and she wants him to keep going. Verse 2, Mama said it's uphill for oddities, and we hear more about the struggles. And then the bridge is where he comes to the resolution of deciding, no, I'm gonna stay up on that rise and never come down. And then we come into the success of the chorus, had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing, and he brings it all together, and it's almost like he's saying, yes, I was dreaming for this once, and now I have it. But this is where High Hopes fails. I want you to go listen to the song. Pause this video and go listen. And the question I want you to ask yourself is this: what is Brendon overcoming, or how is he changing so that he can accomplish his goal? The greatest stories of all time either have heroes who have to overcome something in themselves or overcome something trying to stop them from the outside. Frodo has to fight off the temptations of the ring while also making it to Mordor to destroy it, to destroy Sauron. Luke Skywalker has to be able to connect to the Force inside of himself and to save his friends. But what does Brendon Urie overcome? Nothing. All he had to do was believe in his own greatness until his manifest destiny came around and he was famous. For a story to be good, a protagonist, the hero, has to either overcome something or has to change themselves so that they can overcome something. So as I sit here listening to High Hopes, I wonder, does Brendon Urie think that he is perfect and that it was only a matter of time for him to wait before his destiny of success came to him? And honestly, I sometimes worry that he might. Listen to verse 1. Mama said, fulfill the prophecy of your own success. It was foretold in ancient times that Brendon Urie would be a success. Be something greater. Go make a legacy. Manifest destiny. Manifest destiny is the concept that it is your right, your inheritance to become bigger and better and greater. The barest hints of hints that we hear that it's not smooth sailing for him. Mama said, don't give up, it's a little complicated. And then later, it's uphill for oddities. So we have the barest, the teeniest, tiniest references to any sort of difficulty or any sort of challenge that Brendon might have to overcome, but there's no hint or intrigue or wondering at any point as to whether he'll be able to make it. We know he's going to be able to make it because it is his destiny. It is the prophecy that was foretold. And honestly, I think it makes him sound like a tool. For him to sell us this oblivious song about how he came into his own greatness, while there are other people out there who arguably maybe have higher moral character, who are kinder people, who are harder working people, who have not had the kind of success that he has had, for him to just kind of skim over any sort of changes he had to make, for him to not even mention the fact that maybe he wasn't always perfect and worthy of honor, for him to make his own success seem like it was something that he deserved, rather than something that I'm sure he had to work very, very hard for. Honestly, it just kills the song for me. I can't enjoy it anymore. And thus, while High Hopes has many excellent aspects to it and has been written obviously very carefully and with a lot of forethought as to how it will be executed, I believe that with a little bit of forethought, planning, and a little bit more honesty to the truth of your story, I think you'll be able to write lyrics that are 10 times as good. Thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to check out my Patreon where I will teach you how to write song lyrics in the midst of our songwriting community. Link in the description. Don't forget to check out the magical songwriting process also down there for free. Check out these videos. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.